bros. Here we go. Let's see here, dudes. Haha. There we go, dudes. How you guys this morning? It's trying to fix this camera. Hopefully well, I guess. Let's brighten this. I got my new glasses in yesterday. I'm trying to get used to them, you know. I think it's in advanced, isn't it? That you, or maybe not. Scene of appearance, I'd say that. Yes, here we go. There we go. That helps a little bit on the brightness. Now, let's refresh our chat here real quick, and we can get started. I don't know. It's probably a touch too bright, really. My opinion, I think. I'd say you can see my monitor and my glasses. I'm not buying no dockyards, no passes. I bought the passes last time, didn't even get it, and it's this crap master of a piece of shit, your cruiser, and yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And I keep saying something kind of new bullshit in Ornery, and a call for regret about that. Now let's see here. Starts August the 7th, ends on the 14th. How to obtain by first and second progression line of the themed event pass. Directly purchase them from the Armory Prime Shop. Open Comfort Grove premium containers. Yeah. It's another shit show. Another shit show, bros. What is the problem with these guys? That, in all honesty, what is the problem with these guys? That got this crap up and I can't get it down. 3 more minutes and we can get that. But they're just trying to look here, man. These are this will work out for us because I'm not so really worried, but we'll get a little bit of free shit out of it. And then you got these ranked battles. Jolly Rogers for silver. Then you got the bronze, and they literally don't give you nothing. That bullshit camos, nothing to help you in the game. Period. Just bullshit camo. I refuse to spend another penny besides on the premium account. You don't gotta buy their shit, and I'm not going to. I mean, they're getting awful, dudes. Wait a minute, there's no alarm clock going on. They're getting god awful, dudes. Of the crap they're pulling. And all truth, they're getting to scummy, very scummy. Wargaming is of what they're pulling, and especially about these very, very sad. Very, very sad that here it is. They how else could you put it? I mean, really, what do you say about this? That coffee's too hot. Well, I mean, really, man, honestly, what do you say? They no longer put anything in the game that could help you game-wise. It's got to have a price onto it, like this. It'll help you a little bit when you go down the line of it. It's sad, bros. Any ways that you've had to win 3 battles, incapacitation, really. It's like the last season pass. I couldn't get it all out of it, and I tried too. Truly, well, semi-tried. I tried. Semi-tried. I put a whole effort into it, you know, but because I mean, there's nothing to do, bros. It's nothing to do. The idea of an event is you're a person will give you this. That's the idea of event. It's you know, they used to have events. Like you'd have the Model Ducky mode or the Halloween mode. You played something. D-Day is the last event they've had anything. And really, I mean, really, dudes. What the fuck, man? They're lazy. They're lazy. They're saying you're reward us for nothing. I'm gonna put my glasses up here, bros. It's probably getting my head to hurting playing this video game, and but really, I mean, really, dudes, think about it. Think about it. They're saying here, reward me for nothing. In all honesty, that's what you're saying. No shit. They're like, here, man, reward us for being scummy, not putting no decent effort into I'm serious. I'm not joking at all. When's the last time you seen a new map? When was the last time they ever did anything but try to nerf something that they sold you? I'm serious, dudes. You haven't. In all honesty, you haven't. Yeah. You haven't, bros. Because and I tell you why. You got people that will funnel money into them. That's for nothing. Man, you're a piece of shit, bro. Truly. They got the game itself. The test servers are better. Seriously, they are. Test servers better, bro. A lot better, my dudes. It's what this game should be. But tell you what, they're not going to fix it. In all honesty. Because they're not going to do no more than they fucking have to, bro. In all honesty. And it's sad. Because they're taking everybody's fucking money. I mean, Yeah, the player count comes down in the summertime. They do more shit instead of just throwing shit in and saying, oh, well, there's an event. There's an event, bros. What event is it? There's nothing to make no free tokens to lower it. Either
Neptune's beard.
Either you, I'm gonna ram him into the hillside there. That or you pay $3 and something a month to YouTube on their YouTube channel to get a couple free things. But well, I did it. It's not worth it. Or
one more enemy aircraft carrier is likely to remain in the combat zone. Seek and destroy. Raptor, Task Force Commander here. Working on an optimal route for you. This is Raptor. Moving out.
okay. Fuck you, Gary.
Ship is on fire!
What the hell would I be mad for, man? I'm not mad. I think it's stupid. But back to the subject, since I've tried to start my argument here, and the Snowflake Queen here can't defend himself. I mean, really, dudes. this game has such a lack of content to it. I mean, really, that it's pathetic. Truly. Good game. Very addictive as well. But really sad, man, that they don't do events anymore. Their idea of event is, here, man, just give us some money. We'll repaint a few ships, and we're going to overprice them to you, dudes. I mean, really. End of the day, that's truly what it is.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Yeah, I'll be damn Gary got tugged out.
This is Render. Air wing is ready for duty.
But that's the truth about that, bros. I mean, end of the day, wholeheartedly, that's the truth about it. They honestly, sad times, bros. Sad times.
Cruiser foundered.
That they genuinely don't. They don't have. I don't know what you call it. They're done, bros. I mean, in all honesty, like I said, what would you call what they're doing? I mean, they did a little bit of cosmetic works, a little bit. I mean, nothing that's really noticeable. They put shit into the game people despise. Submarines. Everybody hates fucking aircraft carriers. If I wanted to fly planes, I'd play a plane game. Sure enough. I think the aircraft carriers love the concept and shit. I think have to control the plane. I think you should be able to designate a target for it and have it go hit it. And not no bunch of bullshit like you have to do with it. My opinion, that's because you're the captain of the aircraft carrier. You're not the pilot, motherfucker. And, I mean, really, you're the captain of it. You're not the damn pilot. So why are you having to pilot the planes? Submarines, I've not played them. It's just been because I don't want to learn them yet. in all honesty, I just don't want to learn those yet. But the aircraft carriers, I just don't like the concept. I feel you should have deck guns and fight them off yourself. You shouldn't be taking it, hiding in a fucking corner with it. And then have to sit and fly the goddamn planes when the captain of the ship, he might direct them, but it's a totally different group. They send them out, they got to worry about their survival themselves. You should designate where to hit, and then you shouldn't have to go through all that and have to fucking multitask when it comes to it, Well, you shouldn't. I mean, that's you really shouldn't. I'm hanging with him here, so that way it will. But you really shouldn't, man. So, but that's just me. The campaign of it. What's the campaign? What's the campaign? Anybody care to try to explain that one? I mean, I'm listening. In all honesty. Anybody care to explain it, I'm mostly listening. Because, really? Not having a new operation, the campaign's operations, just with a bunch of crap in it. Not all crap, but that's it. No storyline. Period. Semi-half shady stats of misrepresentation of countries and their ship lines. Fact. True. And that's no shit. Bada boom. And that's truth, brothers. Is an insult of what they did to the U.S. ships. Do you really, honestly, would you think for one moment, seriously, that the U.S. has ship lines that they didn't have battleships that had torpedoes on? They didn't have cruisers that had torpedoes on it. And the Iowa-class battleships were some of the fastest for their time. So when they say, "Oh, we're keeping it real," I call bullshit. Like this bullshit right there, man. But why pay for it? Why pay for it? I bought it last month. Got to the last line of it, realized that there wasn't enough tokens. That's the one to live on and grind it. If I do that with it, I'll get pissed off and quit playing it. But simply because it's not worth it. Honestly, literally not worth it. I keep trying to find some good and decency into these guys that they make me mad every summer. In all honesty, they truly make me mad every summer because they do this crap all summer long. It wouldn't be so bad, bros, if they put some missions with all these events instead of saying, "Well, here's this call for regatta. Let's make an event. You can go in it. You can earn these tokens. You can, because regardless, man, of what they think, they're going to be guys that setting funnel money into it like they want. Probably not as much as they want, but they would be. But there's no go of it. Like, there's no go of it, man. There's not. Like here, the Transformer deal. I get 7 cathedral hits. Get 5 destroyed ribbons. It's just a little shit. I mean, at least it's missions. You know, you can say, "Well, got that." Or, you know, as a content creator trying to play this game, and the RNG in this game sucks ass. The drop rate and shit of this game, it sucks ass. They need investigated. I can prove my point of it that they're lying about it on the box drops. Count them. I have. I can show you when the test server comes up. I'm going to show you, and you know the test server will pretty well give you what you want anyway. But when it comes up, I'll show you. Like these Allied Hero boxes, I'll tell you how many you have to buy before you will get one of what you're wanting in it. Okay, I've counted them out. It goes higher. They're lying about their drop rates. That's fact of that. It's honest and true fact about that. Like these. Like these right here. Tells you right here you got about 50, a guaranteed drop in 51. I I've done about over 100 right at it. It's over 51. Still haven't got one of these in quite a while. If you want a guaranteed, it's true. If you want a guaranteed drop rate on it, go off and don't play the game for about a month and a half, and it'll start giving you shit to entice you to come back and play it. That's the truth. The RNG and everything in the game will be better to you for about a week or so. Then it'll drop back down. That's the truth, bros. Play it truth. Play better or not. And if you think I'm playing or joking or lying on them, do it and find out. In all honesty, stop playing it. They get pissy when you log in and you leave. And so they know, well, he's wanting to play, but he ain't gonna do it. Just log in and leave. I did that for about 2 months straight. Hey man, when I started playing it, damn bros, I forgot to update my, hang on there dudes, I gotta update the mod thing here. We can keep talking as we go. It's nothing big. It just, the game will be blacked out till I get it to, is that the loader? Oh, it's the log archives. There we go. There's the installer. But I shit you not on that one. But it makes it mad. They get mad, bro. Because what it is, they know that you're pissed at them. I mean, that's no shit about that. It's main link download. Okay, but I mean, honestly, shit you not about that. What the hell? Come on, motherfucker. Really, bro? Yeah, administration. What the hell? What's wrong with it? You ain't, oh my goodness, bro. Let me see here. Okay, it's done. There we go. More info. Run it anyway. There we go. But it really is the case, bros. And I think what they're pulling, dude. And I'm not the only player of this game that's run his mouth about their shady bullshit, dudes. I mean, I know I'm not, you know. I'm not the only guy that's said anything about this crap and how they've overpriced it and the way they're doing their community. And I mean, to me, man, once they hit $100 on a ship, that should be it. Period. It. That is too much. We're talking about being able to buy a new AAA game for that price. What's a deluxe deal? You know, if you want to call it that. I don't see nothing deluxe about it, but $70 is the going rate for a AAA game now. We all know that. But yeah, see, all my resources, everything's up. I mean, we all know that, and they deserve a raise in their game. It's stayed that for a decade or two. I'm not saying they shouldn't have, but this deal, what they're pulling here, bros. Now, the reason I'm saying this is, okay, they're selling these 50 for $10. 50 for $10. $6.90, bro. Now add that up, my dudes. Gosh, shit, 4, 6. Well, we'll say 7 because so that'd be that's 50, that's 20, 40, 60, 80. That's $130 straight ship. That's seriously, count it up. It's $10. $10 for 50 takes 20s for 100. 6 10s is 60. 6 times 10, 60 times it to $120. You got 2 to make the 10, 20. So that's $120. Well, but 120 and some. Might as well count 130 because you're going to have to buy extra 10 to get the 90. So, well, you're going to have to buy almost 20. Well, you are. So it'd be almost $140 straight ship. 140 for that one. Why? What the fuck, man? And people's buying this shit. So that's the problem, man. That's the problem. So these content creators, bro, they're not buying this shit. Lord Big Mouth asshole, he's not buying it. He's not buying it. These Twitch content creators, they're not buying it, neither. They're giving it to them. And they're sitting and, oh, it's so good, it's great, it's bullshit. And they know they're going to nerf it, well, everybody else does. And thinking, oh man, I got to get this. It's good. Oh, fuck, how stupid are you, man? Motherfuckers. Why you funneling money like that into a video game, bro? I mean, honestly, dudes. When they're having 8 and 10 and 12 of these goddamn these events a month. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 events going at one time. Only one you got any missions for is the Transformer event. What are you going to get? You're not going to get shit. They're not going to give you shit. And that's for the hour. The hour. Before later. If anything, it's so. So it's just Special Commander Optimus Prime. Is what it is. But I mean, fuck Ukraine. I don't care to say it, dude. Fuck Ukraine. I got a big beef with them anyway for what they pulled with Joe Biden. Not the people of Ukraine, but the government for damn sure. And these cocksuckers here, hey buddy. I mean, I don't see why we even waste our time playing it. I've been aiming to go to War Thunder. Truly have. It's, I truly have. Honestly, I have. Because at the end of the day, I am not gonna funnel money like that into the. It wouldn't be so bad. Well, you could condone it better if it wasn't 5 and 6 fucking times a month they're trying to do it. And maybe when Russia gets done blowing the hell out of Ukraine, they'll knock this fucker's servers clean offline. You ever think of that? Do you honestly believe in your heart that they are going to win a war with Russia? I'm going to throw 2 big names at you. Tried it and couldn't do it. Napoleon. Adolf Hitler. Both invaded and could not win. Do you honestly think that the people, the citizens of the United States, are not pissed off at the government for funneling money into that war that we know we're never going to get back, and that it's a fucking a money pit that and no, they can't win. We're tired of it, man. I do not condone it. It's 4 continents away, motherfucker. We don't care. We have been overrun by illegal immigrants and invaded our own damn selves. We cannot keep up what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is pulling, dudes. That's a fact, man. I don't give a fuck. It's time somebody opens their mouth. We have funded this bullshit that as an American, I expect Ukraine to pay every fucking penny that the U.S. government has given back, win or lose. Period. Our ally is Israel. That is who we should be worried about taking care of, not Ukraine that has did bad shit toward the U.S. before that. Why the hell are we giving countries that despise us money, dudes? Somebody logically explain that to me, that we're giving countries money that hate us. Got President Zelensky coming here begging for money. Motherfucker, won't you cocksuckers in Europe give it to him? Why don't Jones fund it, since it means so much to yous? You know, we're protesting and we want to stop funding the Ukraine war. And I've asked this question for a couple of years now. What's it about? What is the Ukraine war about? I get Russia's point of view of it. I don't Ukraine's. I get Russia's point of view of it. It was a Soviet of the Soviet Union. I get it. I get that 100%. I truly do. So, what's this war about? Okay, it's like this. If they don't want to be a part of Russian stuff, should they or should they not have to pay for all the infrastructure and all the technology and everything that Russia's spent in that country? Yes. Yes. At some point in time, Russia should be refunded, be recompensated their money. If that is the case. Because you don't get nothing for free in this world, dudes. I know why the U.S. is in it. I know exactly why the U.S. is in it. And it's time our country stops that shit. Truly it is. It is honestly time our country does stop that shit. We don't need to be one governing the world. Trust me. We got a bumbling buffoon of an idiot that they have kept hid for the past 4 years that he's sick. And they're hiding it. Just the same way they did with Roosevelt. Roosevelt got 4 fucking terms. Joe Biden won't get a second one. He realized that. That's why they pulled him out of it. They knew he was losing. Kamala Harris ain't going to win. Her and Tampon Tim, they're not going to win, dudes. What logical? Now Democrats try to say now that they're intelligent, they're highly educated and shit. Well, logical, intelligent person is going to say that a man menstruates. Tampon Tim did. I mean, really. No shit, bros. Old Tampon Tim, he was putting tampons in the men's bathrooms there for him. Now look, dudes. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm not gay bashing. I'm not homophobic. But I tell you what I am. And I'd say the same as most other Americans. Tired of their bullshit. Tired of their waste, their spending. Tired of all of it, bros. Just tired, dudes. That we got a government that we didn't pick them. Got black people going around saying how racist the white man is when, in all honesty, it's the pot calling the kettle black. That's a metaphor. I'm not talking about no black person in general. I have no beef with no other race whatsoever. I am tired of hearing how the white man's put them down and did them. They did. That's true. They did it. There's not a person alive that lived in slavery. you want to throw out some good stats? I'll throw you out some. Black man will get a job over a white man. That's fact. Black man will be accepted in a school where they don't have the credentials that if a white or Asian person does, they'll be turned down just so that black person can go there. That's another fact. Now, That's a fact, bro. These DEI hires like Kamala Harris. That's what she was. She was DEI hire. She does not legitimately have the credentials to be vice president, let alone president. What has she did? What has she did in the past 4 years? I mean, honestly, man. Not hating on the lady. Not hating on her. What has she did? Governmentally, as vice president, I can tell you what she hasn't done. She hasn't went to the border. She has asked bluntly why she doesn't go to the border. She said, I ain't been to Europe either. Her exact words. She talked shit about Biden when she was, because she run for president also. It's not a woman being president, dudes. They're picking the wrong ones. Honestly. If you support Trump, you're a MAGA radical. You're a radical. They call J.D. Vance a weirdo. What's weird about the man? His mother was on drugs. She straightened her life up, and that's great. But this man went to the Marines so he could have an education. He literally has proven how great our country is, that you go from poverty to a political position or whatever he would have chose. I believe the man could have done. And they calling him weird. They're calling J.D. Vance a weirdo when, man, oh jeez. But here they are, they believe that men can get pregnant. That's bullshit. I mean, literally, they're going against the biologically what science says, and we're expected. I mean, in all honesty, we're really expected to say that a transgender woman is a female. They're on equal grounds. Well, and they're trying to force this upon us. We're not in a third world banana republic, dudes. And I'm sorry if you feel the way you feel about whatever. End of the day, my dudes. You cannot force someone to believe something they don't believe. I myself, let's take my Christian values out of it. I am a devoted Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I do. I don't force my values on no one. Yeah, you too, bro. I don't force my values upon no one. I am a live and let live person. But when you try to make me say or do something that I fundamentally do not agree with, I'll do it even lesser of it. I'm not going to go as far as to say, oh, you're going to hell, all this and stuff, which you really are. I mean, it's a fact on that deal. You know you are. No shit. Frig! We died there, but... Oh, well, I don't guess... Yeah, we did. Which you are. You know, Bible says you are. Unless you seek salvation, you redemption. You go to church, you go to the altar, you beg for forgiveness, then you go be rebaptized in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Then God will forgive your sins. Yes, He will. So, and don't get me wrong, because that don't just apply to being a homosexual. That applies to being a liar, a thief, and a whoremonger. Cross the line. See, people leave that out of it. I won't leave that out of it. That's just as bad as sin. That's just as bad as sin, being a liar, a whoremonger, and a thief. That is just as bad as sin. That is ranking right with the homosexuals. Leaving that to the side. Can a male get pregnant? Biologically, hell no, they cannot. Then you'll see, oh, he's pregnant. Well, he was a she from the start with, so, yeah. No wonder he's pregnant, because biologically it's a she. You know, biologically it's a she. So, absolutely, he's going back with that. Can a transgender get pregnant? No. Can a transgender, a male, transform into a female, get pregnant? No. Or are they truly a woman? No. They've cut their little pecker off and made him a squeeze box, or there's a big difference there. Should I have to say something I don't believe in? Do not believe in. Should I have to agree with them and say that's a female? No, I should not. Am I going to cater and say that? No, I am not. No, because it goes against my beliefs. If they want to believe that, that's fine and dandy. Don't ask the opinion of someone that you know you're not going to get to hear what you want from. Because they're not going to say it just to make you to keep from hurting your little bitty feelings. This is a cruel world we live in. There's two genders, male, female. That is designated to you when you're born, male and female. Now, you might change the outward look of your body, but you will never change your core person. Male, female. It's that simple, dude. And, you know, used to be, we accepted as a society that this was a mental illness, and that there were bigger factors involved in this, and that it is a mental illness. And it is. Whether anybody wants to hit on that subject about it, it is a mental illness. And that there's a lot of underlying factors in it. And it's irreversible, dudes. And that has been, they've went after a fight. It come out, that's how this shit started. Now think about this. First come out, we want to be able to get married, and we want to exist. We want to be able to get our significant others, be entitled to their insurances or that stuff. Hey, you can't blame them. I mean, truly, you can't. And they should be able to and deserve it, absolutely. But It went from that to, oh no, you're going to identify me as what I want. No, motherfucker, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not going to. And you cannot make me, nor society, do that. Now it's went to, we want to teach your 5-year-old child that's in grade school and basically pornography. And we want to dress in drag and go read it to them. Oh, hell no. Now that's what we've had in the past few years of this crap. And I don't believe in going out and beating and trying to kill or bother anyone. I do not, and I think it's deplorable and pure evil. I do. Wholeheartedly. I would never condone any kind of racial or any violence toward any person, be it their sexual preferences, religion, none of it. Deplorable. Deplorable. Truly deplorable. Wholeheartedly, dudes. You do not, if not just being Christian, being morally, you do not do, you're an evil person when you set out to hurt others. That's the truth. But I'll say what you'll often hear me say. Only good pedophile is a dead pedophile. They sickening. Very sickening. Very, very sickening. That's what makes them look bad, bros. They've went after teaching crap to kids. The government of all people, the government, Democrats. That's why they're going to be there will be a downfall of the Democrat Party. They've went too far left. Now you can argue abortion and you can argue abortion, you can argue a lot of things, but when the government has stepped in trying to parent our kids, trying to take our rights from us as parents, when it comes to our kids, the schools are hiding what our kids are doing, and that they are the ones influencing our kids to be transgender and all this shit. And they are, and you got teachers that do I believe that a gay should be able to adopt? Hell no, I don't. Hell no, I don't. And not because they're gay, because biologically they could have children and they wouldn't have to adopt. It was their choice to be with someone of their same sex that they can't have kids. Biologically, they could have them if they would be with somebody of the opposite sex, the way nature intended. So, should you be able to adopt? No, you should not. So I stand with the Catholic Church on that. Absolutely stand with the Catholic Church that they shouldn't adopt and they should not adopt. Whatsoever should they be able to. And that don't mean just gay men. I mean that toward gay women. You know, lesbians, I mean that towards transgenders. Yeah, all that alphabet soup, I mean that towards you. They should not. Besides that, I'll just be honest and I'll say the little dirty word in the room. They have a mental disorder, so mentally they're not capable of it. That's the facts. Look, dude, everybody's young. Everybody has their dumb moments in life. They do. We all have. Not me when it's come to no shit like that, but I've did dumb shit in my life. I'm stage 4 cancer victim. I'm still puffing on these damn things. But just because I believe in it, like I said, I believe in God. I do. I don't go pushing that on people. And it says in the Bible to go out and spread the word. And I can tell you why I believe in God. Doesn't mean you have to believe me or that you're going to feel the same about it. But I can tell you why I believe in God. I can tell you why I believe God works miracles. I'll give you the best example I could ever give you. In October of last year, the doctor looked at me and told me I had cancer. It took him 4 months to find out how bad my cancer was. In January of this year, the doctor looked at me and told me I was stage 4 and I was dying and that I had weeks, maybe a month or so to live. Okay, here we are 8 months later. Barely can see the cancer in my liver. I don't know about my lungs. It's been a bit, but it shrunk. Now, that ain't a miracle. And that ain't God's divine intervention for me.
We expect the arrival of transport.
What is?
Strike aircraft will ensure support during the embarkation.
Don't get me wrong. I think the world of my doctor. I think the world of my whole cancer crew. I do. But I'll give credit where it's due. The big guy up there. That's the truth, dudes. Don't expect you to believe anything. That I can prove to you and show you. I am stage 4 cancer. I won't say survivor. I'm still fighting it. But I'm alive. When they said I should have been dead, I'm still alive. And I've had faith in God my whole life. That I've had things happen to me that most people's died. And I'm not I'm a good person. I really am. I mean, but I have my opinions as well as anyone else. Most that know me will tell you very quick. I'll do anything I can to help anyone. I'd give you the last dollar in my pocket. I'd give you the shirt off my back. I'd give you the last bite I had in my house to eat. and I would do it and never say a word or never tell anyone I've done it. Because people say, oh, I'm charitable, I help and this and that. You don't help people to throw it in their face, nor to brag about it. You don't. That defeats the purpose of helping someone. Do you help someone just to go? Because if you do, man, you're just doing it for the glory of it. Not because you feel that you're trying to do good. And I would hope anyone that's charitable is really trying to do good. But I myself, I do it because we've all been there in life. And if you haven't, I mean, God forbid you have to be. Like, it makes me madder than hell when people gets on Facebook and these social networks and they start talking about people on welfare. And they're like, oh, my tax dollars paid this and they did that and they're just living the dream or on welfare. Dude, they ain't getting rich on welfare. They're not, man. They're not. You're just showing what kind of arrogant piece of shit you are, man, that you would sit and talk about somebody. Do you really honestly think that they really want that, and that's their go-in? That's really someone's go-in life, huh? That they want to have to live on welfare, but because the government has let all these immigrants in, and that they've made it to your fellow Americans can't even find a damn job. And the ones that can find a job has to take lesser wages simply because the job market's overrun. But people would rather say, oh, they don't want to work and shit. I'm for sure anybody, they want money, and therefore they will work. I don't know about this new generation, though. This is the sorriest generation of idiots I've ever had the displeasure of having to deal with, in all honesty. I blame their parents for that. I do. We grow up with the mentality we don't want our kids to go through what we had to go through. But if you think about it, going through that is what made us what we are. So we're the ones that was wrong. That our parents had the right idea. We're the ones that strayed from it. Anyone my age would probably agree 100% with me that we growed up in the best time that you could grow up in. In all honesty, I feel we did. I mean, and we'll never get that back. We'll never get that back. Ever. So, we won't. We got people that's living in this country. There's this guy on Facebook. he was saying fuck America and all this and that. And the truth's the truth. If you feel that way, why you want to come here and reap the benefits from us but talk about us? He was an illegal immigrant. I know he wasn't. And you know, the sad thing about that is, I truly did not think that they were in my state as bad as they are. In all honesty, I truly did not think they were in my state as bad as they are. But they are. Working at a Pepsi plant here in West Virginia. And I mean, that's truth, folks. That is the whole honest truth of that deal. And how much more are we going to take as citizens? Blacks, whites, Asians, all of us. If you enter this country legally, you have all the rights to be here as anyone else. And people say, they got rights to be here. No, they do not. No, they do not. And I tell you the biggest reason they do not, because they chose to come to cross the damn border illegally. And people say, well, they didn't break the law. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did, because it's right. It's a law that you enter the country illegally. You're to be deported and never to be able to return to the United States. That's a law. You should be jailed and deported. And let's not forget that they're coming here raping and killing our women and our kids. We have had the biggest invasion in history on the United States under Joe Biden. And these Democrats are fine with it. I'm not against others coming to this country. I encourage it. I truly do. But I encourage you to come legally to where you have, and because it's not right to the other people that come legally, that take their place in line, do what they have to do to be a part of this country. It shows that they want to participate and be a part of the country. They don't want to just come rape, pilferage, and loot and go back to where they're from. So, in my honest opinion, it's unarguable about there's no argument of it, boss. Either you come illegally or you shouldn't be coming. Period, dudes. I mean, honestly, either you come legal or you should not be here whatsoever. And whether it be Donald Trump or whoever, the next president we have is going to have to deal with this problem. You know, they're finally admitting we're going into a recession. It's been 4 years since the pandemic. We're going into a recession because of our government, not because of a predecessor of a president. We would have done hit it and been there if that would have been the case. That is a fact, dudes. That is a fact. This mentality everybody's got saying, well, it's Donald Trump's fault. No, it's not. It's the administration that is in control at the moment. It is their fault. They should own what they've did. They say, well, they had a border policy, or it was a bipartisan one, and their bad orange man wouldn't let them sign it. Bad orange man doesn't hurt office whatsoever. Doesn't hurt office. So he doesn't hurt office. They should own their mistakes, man. Period. They should own what they've did. They need to own what they've did. They have overrun their country. They have fucked their economy up so bad by overspending. They have given Ukraine trillions of fucking dollars for a war they will never win, and that's a fact. Everything's good. They've cut welfare to give to the illegal immigrants. They know when they mess with Social Security, hell's going to break loose. They keep saying Social Security's going broke. How is something going broke that is being paid into? Everybody has to pay into it. Can't draw it if you didn't pay into it. According to them, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can't.
Whiskey is finished. Our repair base is no longer in danger.
And they are going to do away with the Born in America policy. That's about to end. And it rightfully should. There's this one guy on Facebook, he was talking about how he snuck in the country. He'd had kids. They was born here. And that, what am I going to do about my kids? Tell you what I said. Take them with you. That's what you do about it. It doesn't give you the right to be here. And should not give you the right to be here. Because, like I said, there's people that's went decades to be here legally that wants to be a part of the American citizens and wants to have the benefits of being an American. They didn't sneak in to cross the border and decide that they would just invade our home. That's facts, man. You know, we used to vote politicians in by the merits of them, not just because we belonged to that party. We voted for them by what they did in office and politically. It had nothing to do whatsoever with their party affiliation. And I mean, dudes, why are you voting for people that's lying to you on a norm, bro? I mean, really, why would you vote for someone that is literally lying to you and the intentions they have for you, bros? And I'm not saying the Republicans are better. They're not. It's and my reasoning of it, I'm just picking the lesser evil. In all honesty, picking the lesser evil of it.
Designated targets destroyed.
And all truth of it, that's my reasoning. I'm just taking the lesser evil of the crowd there, because Democrats, man, they just lie, bro. Seriously, they lie. They don't care. Joe Biden, I'll give you the best damn example, period, of someone that lied deliberately And when he was caught in the lie, he didn't care. Whatsoever did he care. As when Joe Biden said he would not mess with fracking. I think we all remember when he was asked as he was running. Now, I'll give Obama that much. I will give Obama that much, because he was asked, was he going to try to do anything to the coal business, and he let his intentions be known from the start. Not Biden, man. And I think if Biden would have told that from the start, he would not have got office, period. And he cheated, and I don't give a damn what anybody says, and it's not no damn conspiracy theory, and it's not no radical MAGA shit. He legitimately, him and the Democrats did cheat to get him in office, bro. Because, and my biggest reason that they did do it is because they tried to say, lie and say there ain't been no damn interference in the election, and that's a damn lie. That is a lie. They cheated. They've cheated on multiple grounds in the presidential election, and not just all the election, period. Problem was on that, they know they cheated, they just didn't know exactly how. They didn't know they'd went to the old folks' homes and that they'd went to they know they were packing the states with immigrants. They were fixing it, letting them vote. They know that. I mean, they know it, and they do. It's cheating, bro. It's cheating. So regardless, you can say whatever you want about Trump when he contested the election. He had all rights to, because of the simple fact, and at the end of the day, they did cheat. They did. Period, man. They cheated. Everybody knows they fucking cheated, but they don't want to admit it. Period. Don't want to admit they cheated. I wouldn't want to admit it either. I want to ask you this, and this is a totally legit question. What was Trump found guilty of? The charges. Tell me what his charges were that he was found guilty of. Because that's not over with, dudes. That's not over with. That's far from over with. Whether he gets president or not, that's not over with. Because see, that has to go to higher courts. I can tell you that I know what the insinuations of his charges are. But it would be federal, it wouldn't be under state. So, as the state of New York has acted on a federal level, and they can't do that. When the federal government refuses to prosecute you for it, the state can't just take it up on their own accord. And if they would go with the routes that they keep trying to say that of what they're saying, that's federal. That's federal. That's New York State wouldn't have a dog in that hunt. They wouldn't. Period. They couldn't have a dog in it. It's federal government. It'd be federal tax evasion. And he wasn't the one committed it. Keep that in mind. He doesn't do his own taxes, dudes. That's why you hire CPAs and bookkeepers. You don't do them. They're the ones liable for whatever's turned in. Okay, and you want to get real technical on that deal. She signed a non-disclosure agreement. Then she broke it. So every penny she was paid, she owes it back to him. She done said she'll go to jail before she gives him a penny. And this was all 20 years ago. He wasn't president when they say this took place. He wasn't. So, then you got the deal, the Acheron deal, where he got convicted of, and you hear no more about it because it's in appellate court and it will be overturned. Guarantee it, because see, the state of New York is trying to state a value of a property that's in another state that they have no jurisdiction in. So, yeah. So, what they pulled, there'll be regular ramifications over. They truly will. And it won't be toward Trump. It will be toward the ones that proceeded and the injustice they've did toward him. But in all honesty, name one of the 37 indictments. Name one of them. Name what he was charged with. Because I'm for sure when lawyers that Braggs can't tell you. The judge, he can't tell you. He can't tell you the charge that he was indicted and found guilty on. They can't tell you. But you got people upholding what they've did. You better look at the bigger picture, dudes. Trump is a rich man. He can afford high-dollar attorneys to represent him. You or I couldn't. We'd be railroaded. And if you think they wouldn't do it to someone else, you're wrong. You're totally wrong when you think they wouldn't do it to someone else. Because simple, true fact of the matter of the whole deal, if they would do it to Donald Trump, they would do it to you or I even quicker, because we don't have the resources to fight it like Trump does. So therefore, we would honestly be screwed. And total honesty of it, we would be screwed. We could not fight it off, bros. Well, no way. I couldn't. I'm for sure most of you guys couldn't either. You know. And that is my point. That I'm with him when it comes to it, 100%. That it's lawfare. Straight up, it is something they would do in a third world country. It is they've weaponized the justice system to go after their political opponent. And if you say it isn't, you're lying, bro. If you cannot see what they have did in the past 3 years to Donald Trump and can't honestly say that the Department of Justice and these states have taken it upon themselves to do anything to convict him, to keep him from running for president again, you're a damn liar. And you are blind to what the Democrat Party has done in the past 8 years. From the time he announced he was going to run as a Republican for president to this day, they have waged war on Donald Trump. The Democrats have, and they have openly accused him of just outrageous bullshit. Okay, Bill Clinton wasn't only found guilty, he was impeached for having sex with interns in the White House. They've publicly embarrassed Donald Trump 2 times. Once he was basically called a rapist from E. Jean Carroll, when there's really no proof that he was ever where she said this shit took place. Never. No proof was ever. The proof he's had and stuff, they would not let him submit in court. That he could have proved he wasn't there. They wouldn't let him submit it. Whether he did or didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels, he wasn't the president. When this took place, he was not the president. Bill Clinton was. Monica Lewinsky, the other lady that he had basically raped, that he was paying her hush money. That's facts, dudes. That's facts. That is a wholehearted fact. But they're fine with Bill Clinton and doing that. John F. Kennedy, whoremonger, ran around with Marilyn Monroe and numbers swelling while he was president. Him and Bobby Kennedy both were having sexual relationships with Marilyn Monroe, and that's why you have the conspiracy theory that they had her killed. That's true, bros. True. Very true. But the Democrats are fine with that. But Trump's a bad man. Genuinely a bad man. Because he I don't even know how to put it, man. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, the things he did before he was ever president. 20 years ago, there's statute of limitations too, dudes. That they rewrote the laws in New York just to go after him. Now, my honest opinion of it, you would really think that New York State would love Trump because he has brought big business to New York. You would, Trump is a New Yorker, but they have turned on him for the federal government. This is Joe Biden doing this. This is the Democrat Party showing that they should never hold power. And there will be consequences for this, dudes. They will, bros. There will be consequences for this, bros. I believe that with all my heart. There will be consequences. Because at the end of the day, what they're pulling along will cause them to lose power. And once the Republicans do get back in power, till they can go through all this shit they pulled, and it's not just bringing it to the light of the eyes of the U.S. citizens. They are crazy if they do not jail everyone involved in it. Because if they don't, and they get in power again,
I owe you one.
They'll make it till it'll never be took from them again. And I do think the Republicans have realized that, to what the Democrats are up to. And I believe that wholeheartedly, my dudes. I genuinely believe that wholeheartedly, that we are absolutely seeing the demise of the Democrat Party. That they are acting in ways that absolutely are just deplorable, man. And bros, we should be really upset with them, because they're not doing the will of the American citizens. They're rigging elections. They are just as corrupt on levels that are truly bad, bro. Think about this, dudes. You got Robert Hernandez. He just got convicted, dudes, for I forget how many counts of bribery, embezzlement, you name it. They got him under the FISC Act, acting as a foreign spy, and these guys, bro, as
The ship is on fire.
he's denying it. Typical. That'd be a typical Democrat would be lying about it, but
Problem solved, sir.
but this guy did this, bros, and he's honestly thinking that I believe he really honestly thought he could buy his way out of it, or he'd get out of it. I don't know. But, and you're not seeing it in the news. That's why nobody trusts ABC, NBC, CBS. Nobody trusts them dudes. I mean, they don't.
Enemy battleship foundered.
They don't, bro. Nobody trusts them motherfuckers, bro. Because they're bluntly lying to their face. They're saying we're not intelligent enough to understand what they're doing, that they could spin a narrative that these guys. Oh, I forgot to say, we didn't make no money on this ship. I just wanted to play with it. Let me see here. Here we go. Let's see. We made 104,000 with it. I found out we lost 146,000 with it's what we did. So I guess I'm not for sure on that deal, but I mean, you think about that, dudes. Really, you got Robert Hernandez. I think they're going to try, or he's sentencing him next month. Next month? Might be this month. Wait a minute, we'll see. We'll see here when they're going to sentence him. I'm thinking it's next month. Now here it is on him here, bros. He's now listen to this. Truly.
Needs these three key.
That's a good lesson.
Senator from New Jersey,
Now,
Senator Robert.
Tom Winter with the verdict.
Yes, Andrea, on count one, conspiracy to commit bribery, the senior senator from New Jersey, Senator Robert Menendez, guilty. That's count one on conspiracy to commit bribery. Senator Robert Menendez, guilty. Wael Hanna, a businessman who's been charged alongside the senator, also guilty on count one. Fred Davies, a New Jersey developer who's been also implicated in the conspiracy to commit bribery, is also found guilty. Count two, conspiracy to commit honest services wire fraud. Robert Menendez, the senator, guilty. Wael Hanna, co-defendant in this case, also guilty. Fred Davies, also guilty. That's count two. We're on to count three now. This is a count that only the senator is facing: conspiracy to commit extortion under color of an official right. We're about to get that verdict put in. We're just getting some. There's some complications on the form that mentions who's released on bond and who's not. So on the first two counts, they're both released on bond. Now count three: conspiracy to commit extortion under color of official right. Robert Menendez, guilty on that count. Count four, conspiracy to commit obstruction of justice. Senator Robert Menendez, guilty on that count. Fred Davies, also charged on that count, also guilty. Count five, bribery actions to benefit Wael Hanna in Egypt. So this is more specific to the Egyptian conduct in this case. Senator Robert Menendez, count five, guilty. Count six, bribery, actions to benefit Wael Hanna in Egypt. Again, this all goes back to the bribery scheme that we've been talking about over the past several months of coverage in this case, and what Joyce Vance was referring to. Count six only pertains to the two New Jersey businessmen, Wael Hanna and Fred Davies. Both have been found guilty on that count. Both will be released on bond on that count. The next count will be count seven, which is honest services wire fraud, actions to benefit Wael Hanna in Egypt. This count does include the senator. He has now been found guilty on that count. Senator Robert Menendez, guilty of honest services wire fraud. Wael Hanna charged on this count as well, and Fred Davies also both found guilty. We're going to move on to count eight, extortion under color of official right, actions to benefit Wael Hanna in Egypt. This count only pertains to Senator Robert Menendez. We're just about to get that to us on that count seven. All three defendants, will be released on bond. Here's count eight now. Again, extortion under color of official right and actions benefiting Wael Hanna in Egypt. This is a count that only involves Senator Robert Menendez, and he has been found guilty of that as well. We're on count 8 of an 18-count indictment, and so far the senator's been found guilty on all counts that pertain to him. We're about to get count 9 now, which is honest services wire fraud. That's actions to benefit Jose Uribe and Uribe's associates. This count involves Senator Robert Menendez, and he here too is guilty on that, according to the jury, while Hanna, who's charged alongside him, has been found guilty on that count. Count 10, extortion under color of official right, actions to benefit Jose Uribe and Uribe's associates. Senator Robert Menendez is the only person charged under count 10. He has been found guilty under count 10. Count 11, bribery, actions to benefit Fred Davies. He's that New Jersey developer and the government of Qatar. This only pertains to Senator Robert Menendez. He's been found guilty on that count as well. Count 12. Now, this only pertains to Fred Davies, the New Jersey developer. Bribery, actions to benefit Fred Davies in Qatar. He's been found guilty on that count. So again, to recap, we're through 12 counts of an 18-count indictment. And so far, all of the charges against Senator Robert Menendez, the jury has found him guilty of that conduct. Count 13 is what we're on now, honest services wire fraud, actions to benefit Fred Davies and Qatar. Senator Robert Menendez, guilty. The person who's charged alongside of him on this particular count, Fred Davies, the New Jersey developer, also found guilty. We're going to move on to count 14, which is extortion under color of official right, actions to benefit Fred Davies in Qatar. On this count, this only pertains to Senator Robert Menendez, and we're about to get that verdict read to us, and only just several more counts to go. Here it is, Senator Robert Menendez, guilty on that as well. Count 15, conspiracy for a public official to act as a foreign agent. This is a big one because of the alleged conduct involving Senator Robert Menendez, and he has been found guilty here as well. While Hanna, also charged here, has been found guilty, according to our colleague Adam Reese in court. Count 16, a public official acting as a foreign agent. This is an allegation that a United States senator has been acting as a foreign agent of another country. Senator Robert Menendez is the only person charged under count 16, guilty again. Count 17, conspiracy to commit obstruction of justice. It only pertains to Senator Robert Menendez. He has been found guilty. Count 18, obstruction of justice to Senator Robert Menendez, found guilty again. According to our colleague Adam Reese in court, all counts pertaining to the senator of New Jersey, Senator Robert Menendez, are guilty. Guilty across the board for Menendez, guilty across the board for all of the individuals that have been charged in this case. The judge now telling the jury foreperson to be seated. They're going to ask for the jury verdict sheet, which is what I've effectively been reading from here. We've been filling it in electronically and reading it to you. And then I'm sure they will poll the jury, which you'll remember from all of our recent trial coverage means that the judge will ask each individual juror if, in fact, this is their verdict. But it is obviously unanimous. According to Adam Reese, who's viewing these proceedings, he says that Senator Robert Menendez's attorney is patting him on the back. But again, for the senator, who is somebody who's been in public office since the late 1980s, as our colleague Steve Kornacki has just been talking about. He's been a member of the United States Congress since the early 1990s, the 70-year-old senior senator from New Jersey, and the former chair of the powerful Senate Foreign Relations Committee, charged with acting on behalf of a foreign government, not the government he's supposed to represent, and he's been found guilty on that, just like every other count that he's faced.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.
Breaking news today, the jury in the corruption trial of U.S. Senator Bob Menendez has handed down a sweeping guilty verdict, 18 counts in total for the senator and his co-defendants, Fred Davies and Will Hanna, that include conspiracy to commit bribery, conspiracy to commit extortion, obstruction of justice, actions to benefit Menendez's co-defendants, and conspiracy to act as a foreign agent. The counts coming in one after the other, guilty. 16 counts in total for Menendez, 7 for Fred Davies, and 6 guilty counts for Will Hanna. So what does this mean for the senator's future, for the Democratic Party in New York? the balance of power in our nation's capital. We're going to get into all of it. But first, Senator Menendez and his attorneys took their opportunity to address the public after the guilty verdict was handed down. The prosecution also responded to the verdict. Here's what they had to say.
Obviously, I'm deeply disappointed by the jury's decision.
Oh,
I have every faith that the law and the facts did not sustain that decision and that we will be successful upon appeal. I have never violated my public oath.
Bullshit.
I have never been anything but a patriot of my country and for my country. I have never, ever been a foreign agent, and the decision rendered by the jury today would put at risk every member of the United States Senate in terms of what they think a foreign agent would be. I know my attorney want to say something, and then I'll keep going.
Afternoon. We were surprised and disappointed with the jury's verdict. We disagree with it.
Yeah, I'd say you did.
We believe today, as we have since day one, in Bob's innocence. There are grave...
Bros. They found 13 gold bars in Senator Hernandez's house that come out. They all gold bars that big have serial numbers. That they run them, and one of his co-defendants was the owner of it, and he had turned them in stolen, but Hernandez ended up with them. Found cash laying all over his home, like thousands of dollars, 75,000. 50, 75 in envelopes, in jacket pockets and shit. I mean, that's you couldn't have wrote a drama and got no better than this. And this guy, he can deny it all he wants, man. The proof was there. They would have never found him guilty, bros. Now remember, he was tried in New Jersey, in his home state. Not only a jury of his peers, a jury from his home state found him guilty, bros. So I don't think they'll be able to squash it that it'll be squashed in appeals. I think the verdict will stand and Hernandez will go to jail. He'll have to. Okay, now, with that being said, wouldn't you...
appellate problems with this case and with this verdict, and we're going to pursue all appellate avenues.
Well, I'd say, naturally he's going to. No, I don't work for it, bro.
Months ago, a jury in this courthouse convicted Senator Robert Menendez of corruption and national security offenses. This case has always been about shocking levels of corruption. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes in the form of cash, gold bars, and Mercedes-Benz. This wasn't politics as usual, this was politics for profit. And now that the jury has convicted Bob Menendez, his years of selling his office to the highest bidder have finally come to an end.
He can say that legally now, bro, because he's been found guilty.
Who meticulously investigated and prosecuted this case. Their work is the reason why this shocking corruption has finally been unearthed and brought to an end. They are the best of the best. I'm enormously proud of them and proud to serve with them.
That's a big feather in your cap, pal.
In the courtroom, I spoke with Chris Miccioni, former assistant U.S. attorney.
That's a big feather in that guy's cap because he just brought a U.S. senator down for corruption.
The jury arrived at their unanimous decision.
Drinking warm water before bed.
I mean, really, bro, they brought a sitting senator down for corruption, bro.
Clean sweep of this jury finding U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, Will Hanna, and Fred Davies guilty on all charges. Chris, is that what you expected?
Well, once the first 4 counts came in, which are the conspiracy counts, I think it was a safe bet, and I'm sure the government prosecutors were comfortable that the underlying substantive counts of bribery and extortion under color of official right, honest services fraud, they were going to come through as well. Because basically the jury found that there was an illegal or a corrupt undertaking, a conspiracy, or an unlawful agreement. And if they found that, the only steps that they had to find is that those actions were actually carried out. And it was clear that in the presentment of the evidence that the government provided the jury rang true to that regard.
Your legal background, I mean, we saw the defense argue throughout that this was circumstantial evidence at best. Clearly, the jury didn't see it that way. There perhaps was never a silver bullet in this case, but was it more than circumstantial? Clearly, the jury thought so. What's your opinion?
My opinion is you can proceed to trial and convict on circumstantial evidence alone. And in these types of cases, it's really, really rare where you have something in writing or a recording that states the obvious. Most of these cases hang on circumstantial evidence, so the jury made the connection. And why they did, the government did a really good job at painting the contemporaneousness of the receipt of those various things of value with official action that the senator undertook for his own personal gain. So it's not surprising. I mean, you can argue circumstantial evidence, but there's an instruction that the jury is given that says you can convict on circumstantial evidence alone.
Well, of course, because,
was the most compelling
like you said,
that the prosecution presented?
Well, I think the most impactful evidence was all of those things of value. It's really difficult, I think, for an ordinary jury member to appreciate or understand that people just have hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash sitting around in gold bars, and people get their mortgages paid for and cars bought for them just for the purposes of, this was not a bribe. The other thing I think was pretty important is the evidence that the government presented that demonstrated that they tried to hide or conceal these activities. And that's where the obstruction of justice counts come in. A jury can appreciate, I think, that common sense and understanding is that people don't try to hide or conceal actions that they don't otherwise know are unlawful or improper. So I think all of that taken together with, like I mentioned, the contemporaneousness of the official action pertaining to the things of value received by the Menendez family, that kind of did them in here with the jury.
What happens now? Where does Judge Sidney Stein step in here with sentencing, and what are we looking at? Let's start with the process.
Well, the next step will be, I suspect that the defense attorneys are going to move to have the verdict thrown out, which are very rarely successful because jury verdicts are considered kind of sacrosanct in the American criminal justice system. Then after that, it'll go to the U.S. Probation Office, and they'll prepare a pre-sentence investigation report that captures all of the criminal activities and conduct to which these defendants were convicted, but also individually the personal historical background and information about these defendants.
What do you make of their claims that this will be overturned on appeal?
Nope.
It's not surprising. Since day one, they have been beating the drum about this speech and debate clause protecting a lot of the official actions and things that the government alleged he undertook as part of a bribe scheme. So when you're an elected official, for example, a senator in this case, any actions that you undertake are given some level of immunity under the U.S. Constitution under the speech and debate clause. And the reason that exists is to be able to give a senator or an elected official the ability to act robustly and not create a chilling effect on him performing his job in this case. However, if you step outside and engage in illegal or unlawful conduct, you shed those protections. And that's kind of where the decision matrix lies here. The judge had denied their motion to exclude a lot of the conduct and actions that the senator undertook earlier on in the game, and he permitted it to go to the jury and let the government argue that some of this conduct or a lot of this conduct was the product of an illegal bribe scheme. And the jury found that was the case, that it wasn't part of his official duties and actions. He was undertaking that for his own personal and financial enrichment.
So that's what I'm saying, bro. Hernandez, he's screwed, dude. Straight up on that. He's absolutely, he's hard, bro. No getting around it. And we will see the same when it comes to Biden. There is more than enough evidence that Biden has been bribed. Okay.
Sources tell CBS News that FBI Director Christopher Wray is meeting with the leaders of the House Oversight Committee on Capitol Hill today.
Yeah, and during the meeting, he's going to allow Committee Chairman James Comer and Ranking Member Jamie Raskin to review a previously subpoenaed document. The document in question is said to focus on an alleged bribery scheme involving Joe Biden during
This is the one really gets you, bros.
How to open your car door while submerged underwater. A fatal...
Now listen here.
Hill, our chief legal correspondent Katie Barlow with us tonight, talking about the special counsel Robert Hur, who was investigating the now President Biden for retaining classified documents while he was vice president, once he became a private citizen, and what came of those questions from the House Judiciary Committee today. A lot of fireworks there.
Yeah, he took pretty heated questions from both sides of the political aisle today. Democrats going after him for the way that he drafted this report. It's already made headlines. You may remember he called President Biden a well-meaning elderly man. That's relevant. We'll get to why. But he also took heat from Republicans who were pressing him on why he made the decision he did to ultimately not prosecute President Joe Biden, even though he found in his investigation that President Biden willfully retained unauthorized classified documents. So I want to talk about the law that's at the center of this case. It's important here because actually President Trump is being actually prosecuted for this same law that we're talking about in President Biden's case. In Trump's Mar-a-Lago case, it's dealing with his unauthorized retention of documents. Here it is right on your screen right now. These are the three things that Robert Hur would have to prove in order to prosecute Joe Biden: that there was national defense information in those documents, that he unauthorized possession of those documents, and willful retention of those documents. I want to hone in on that willful right there because that's the key, and that word really is why Special Counsel Rob Hur explained today on the Hill that he ultimately decided not to prosecute President Biden, in part because, as he said in his report, Biden's memory is, quote, significantly limited. So Rob Hur's burden would be to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury that President Biden knew what he was doing was wrong when he kept those documents. And he thinks he would have a difficult time doing that Biden would have a number of defenses there. So that willful is the key to Rob Hur's ultimate conclusion, and perhaps what Special Counsel Jack Smith interpreted differently in Trump's case based on the evidence he's collected there.
And this is the big disagreement here between both political parties, because you could argue that both men should face the same charges under the same act, because apparently they both were alleged to have retained these documents as private citizens once they had left office. Robert Hur said under oath, right, this was willful retention. And then he also combated some of the congressmen there and people saying that he did not exonerate him by not prosecuting him. What does that tell you?
Yeah, there was a lot of pressing Robert Hur today on whether he exonerated President Biden. Exonerates means says that he is absolutely innocent. And Hur pushed back pretty strongly, saying that's not what he did in a pretty heated exchange with Congresswoman Jayapal from Seattle in Washington. She said you exonerated him, and he clearly, kind of maybe in the most heated moment of today's testimony, pushed back, saying, I did not exonerate him. He said that was not his charge. He walked through the evidence in his nearly 300-page report and his ultimate conclusions as a prosecutor, again, keeping in mind that burden that he would have to meet, which is proving to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that Biden willfully kept these documents or willfully disclosed these documents. Now, there is also a question here about Biden's ghostwriter for his former memoir, or for his memoir that came out, and that the ghostwriter actually had audio recordings of his conversations with Joe Biden and deleted those audio recordings after Rob Hur was appointed. And so there was some question there of whether that was obstruction of justice, since it was after Rob Hur was appointed. Now, we'll get into more details coming up.
Hang on there, bros. It's better about this when you hear him in front of Congress about it.
Business is here.
Because I heard that is.
So inept in responding.
Alrighty, now, here we go. This is going to be Robert Hur himself testifying about this. End of the day, I myself don't get his explanation.
You told us, Mr. Hur. Page 231, you said this. President Biden had strong motivations. That's a key word. We're getting to motive now. President Biden had strong motivations to ignore the proper procedures for safeguarding the classified information in his notebooks. Why did he have strong motivations? Because, next word, because he decided months before leaving office to write a book. To write a book, that was his motive. He broke them because he was writing a book, and you further say, and he began meeting with the ghostwriter while he was still vice president. There's the motive. Mr. Hur, how much did President Biden get paid for his book?
The ship is on fire.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if that information appears in the report.
Sure does. There's a dollar amount in there. You remember?
I don't. It may be $8 million.
$8 million. Joe Biden had 8 million reasons to break the rules. Took classified information and shared it with the guy who was writing the book. That's why he did. He knew the rules, but he broke them for $8 million in a book advance. But you know what? It wasn't just the money. Joe Biden, here's this page 231, very next page. Joe Biden, in your report, Joe Biden viewed his notebooks as an irreplaceable, contemporaneous record of the most important moments of his vice presidency. He'd written this all down for the book, for the $8 million. And the next thing you say in your report is, quote, such a record would buttress his legacy as a world leader. You know what this is? It wasn't just the money. It wasn't just $8 million.
Damn.
It was also his ego. Pride and money is why he knowingly violated the rules. The oldest motives in the book, pride and money. You agree with that, Mr. Hur? You wrote it in your report.
That language, and it does appear in the report, and we did identify evidence supporting those assessments.
You also had another interesting statement in your report. You said Joe Biden, I want to make sure I get this right, viewed himself as a man of presidential timber. Remember that statement, Mr. Hur?
I believe that does appear in the report, at least in the executive summary.
I think this is interesting, because here's the scary part. Page 200. I said this earlier in my opening statement. Page 200. Joe Biden, this is a quote, Joe Biden risked serious damage to America's national security when he shared information with his ghostwriter. Shared it with his ghostwriter, the guy who was helping Joe Biden get $8 million. And oh, by the way, Mr. Hur, what did that ghostwriter do with the information Joe Biden shared with him on his laptop? What did he do after you were named special counsel?
Chairman, if you're referring to the audio recordings that Mr. Zwanitzer created of his conversations with
exactly
Biden.
what I'm referring to.
he slid, if I remember correctly, he slid those files into his recycle bin on his computer.
Tried to destroy the evidence, didn't he?
Correct.
Very guy who was helping Joe Biden get the $8 million. The $8 million Joe Biden had used, the motive for Joe Biden to disclose classified information, to retain classified information, which he definitely knew was against the law. When you get named special counsel, what's that guy do? He destroys the evidence. That's the key takeaway in my mind. That's the key takeaway.
Gentleman from Georgia's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hur, you've led a distinguished career, earning your law degree from Stanford University.
Now listen to this, bros. Wait a minute.
As a student, as executive editor of the Stanford...
Now listen how he starts to attack her here. He attacks him because he's a Republican. I don't think her was biased on that deal simply because he could have brought charges on him and didn't. So it's I don't honestly know his motivation of that deal. I think the DOJ put him into a position. He knew they wasn't going to let him prosecute him, but he did write it in a way that they could come after him. Now listen to this.
Correct. Then you went on to clerk for Judge Kaczynski of the Ninth Circuit, correct?
Yes, sir.
After that, you ascended to a clerkship with then Chief Justice William Rehnquist on the United States Supreme Court, correct?
Correct.
And then you later joined
These are Republicans. He's
Justice as a special assistant to known Federalist Society member and now FBI Director Christopher Wray. Isn't that correct?
I did spend some time working for former Assistant Attorney General Christopher Wray.
And you later joined the Trump.
Christopher Wray's far from being a
Deputy Attorney General
patriot to the Republicans.
And for another known Federalist Society member, Rod Rosenstein. Isn't that correct?
I served as Mr. Rosenstein's principal deputy.
And then Donald Trump appointed you to serve as U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland. Is that correct?
President Trump nominated me to serve in that position, and I was unanimously confirmed by the United States Senate.
That's correct. And thereafter, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed you to serve as special counsel for the United States Department of Justice to conduct a full and thorough investigation of certain matters to determine whether or not Joseph Biden should be charged with unlawfully removing and retaining classified documents. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
And nowhere in that order does Attorney General Garland authorize you to conduct an investigation and issue a report on whether President Biden is mentally fit to serve as president. Isn't that correct?
That does not appear in the appointment order.
And pursuant to your appointment to conclude your investigation, you issued a report that was published by Attorney General Garland, correct?
He made it available to Congress, sir.
And your report concluded that after a full and thorough investigation, the evidence was insufficient to establish that President Biden had willfully retained classified documents. Isn't that correct?
My judgment was that based on the state of the evidence, the conviction and trial was not the probable outcome.
And you determined that there was no evidence of willful retention because each time classified documents were discovered to be in the president's possession, the White House notified the National Archives right away. The Biden legal team and the White House fully cooperated with the National Archives during the investigation. Once the DOJ opened the investigation, President Biden and his personal counsel fully cooperated. Isn't that correct?
We did identify some evidence of willful retention and disclosure, but we also
the point
noted
is, though, that the president cooperated fully with you. And didn't they never tried to hide any documents from you, did they?
The report does note steps of cooperation taken by the president.
Thank you, sir. And last but not least, unlike In the Trump classified documents case, President Biden's counsel never falsely certified that there was no classified documents in the president's possession, correct?
The report does include some comparisons and contrasts between the facts alleged in the Trump case and the Biden case.
Despite clearing President Biden from being prosecuted, you used your report to trash and smear President Biden because he said in response to questions over a 5-hour interview that he didn't recall how he got the documents. And you knew that that would play into the Republicans' narrative that the president is unfit for office because he's senile. And the American people saw during the State of the Union address that that was not true. But yet, that's what you tried to...
I think it's exactly why they asked him to step down. You listen to what this senator is spinning here that we know now is a lie.
Congressman, I reject suggestions that you have just made. That is not what happened.
Let me move on.
Partisan politics
you are a member
whatsoever in my work.
You are a member of the Federalist Society, are you not?
And fair.
Are you a member of the Federalist Society?
I am not a member of the Federalist Society.
But you are a Republican, though, aren't you?
I am a registered Republican.
Yes, sir. And you're doing everything you can do to get President Trump reelected so that you can get appointed as a federal judge or perhaps to another position in the Department of Justice. Isn't that correct?
Congressman, I have no such aspirations, I can assure you, and I can tell you that partisan politics had no place whatsoever in my work. It had no place in the investigative steps that I took. It had no place in the decision that I made, and it had no place in a single word of my report.
Thank you, sir.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Florida. 5 minutes.
February 8th, the White House. Question, Mr. President, why did you share classified information with your ghostwriter? The President, I did not share classified information. I did not share it. I guarantee I did not. That's not true, is it, Mr. Hur?
That is inconsistent with the findings based on the evidence in my report.
Yes, it's a lie. It's just what regular people would say, right? Yeah, all right. So the next one. And all the stuff.
I'm not no big fan of Matt Gaetz. I mean, he's okay, but...
locked or able to be locked. That wasn't true either, was it?
That was inconsistent with the findings of our investigation.
Another lie, people might say, right? Because what you put in your report was among the places Mr. Biden's lawyers found classified documents in the garage was a damaged open box. So here's what I'm understanding, right? As Mr. Armstrong laid out, you find in your report that the elements of a federal criminal violation are met. But then you apply this senile cooperator theory that because Joe Biden cooperated and the elevator doesn't go to the top floor, you don't think you get a conviction. And I actually think you get to the right answer in that. I don't think Biden should have been charged. Don't think Trump should have been charged. But under the senile cooperator theory, isn't it frustrating that Biden continues to go out and lie about the basic facts of the report that lay out a federal criminal violation?
Congressman, I need to disagree with at least one thing that you said, which is that I found that all of the elements were met. One of the elements of the relevant mishandling statute is the intent element, and what my report reflects is my judgment that based on the evidence, I would not be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury that that intent element had been met.
Right, but the reason you have that doubt is the senile cooperator theory. The fact that Joe Biden is so inept in responding that you can't prove the intent, which again, I don't quibble with that conclusion, but it's frustrating to be like, oh, well, this guy's not getting treated the same way as Trump because the elevator's not going to the top floor, so we can't prove intent. While at the same time, Biden goes out there at the White House and says, well, you know, he just blatantly lies. And what I'm trying to figure out is whether or not Biden's lying because he's still so senile, he hasn't read your report, or whether it's a little craftier and a little more devious and perhaps a little more intentional than we might otherwise think. So I also want to go to this Biden Penn Center. Like, did it give concern to you that the Biden Penn Center, where all this classified stuff was being mishandled, was being floated by foreign governments?
Congressman, we were concerned with getting to the bottom of all of the classified documents that were recovered during the course of our...
Yeah, but what bothers me is that the money that was paying for the place where the documents were being inappropriately held, it was the Chinese and it was other foreign countries. Did that play into your analysis? Did you look into the $1 billion in foreign funding sources at the Biden Center at UPenn, for example?
Congressman, we conducted a thorough, impartial, and fair investigation, and we were very, very concerned with getting to the bottom of all the relevant questions relating to the recovered
Sir,
documents.
did you look into the fact that the Chinese were floating the place where this guy was keeping the documents unsecure? Yes or no?
Congressman, to the extent that we identified evidence that was relevant and significant to our investigation, we put it in our report.
Okay, well, it seemed relevant to me, maybe not to you. Another thing that seemed relevant to me is this ghostwriter, right? So the ghostwriter purposefully deletes this evidence that seems to be like show culpability of Biden's crimes, and you don't charge him. Why did you not charge the ghostwriter with obstructing justice and deleting evidence?
Well, for a number of reasons that are laid out in the report. But in brief, Congressman, yes, when we interviewed the ghostwriter, he did tell us, and I'm trying to get the exact language, that one of the things on his mind, one of the things he was aware of, was that I had been appointed special counsel and was conducting an investigation.
Right, so he didn't, just so everybody knows, the ghostwriter didn't delete the recordings just as a matter of happenstance. Ghostwriter has recordings of Biden making admissions of crimes. He then learns that you've been appointed. He then deletes the information that is the evidence, and you don't charge him.
That is reflected in the report, and one of the reasons...
Like, what does somebody have to do to get charged with obstruction of justice by you? If like deleting the evidence of crimes doesn't count, what would meet the standard?
So, Congressman, as we state in the relevant chapter of the report, one of the things that Mr. Zwanitzer did not delete was transcripts of the recordings that he had created that included inculpatory evidence relating to Mr. Biden.
Oh, so if you destroy some evidence but not other evidence, that somehow absolves you of the evidence you destroy? Here's what I see. Zwanniger should have been charged, wasn't. Biden and Trump should have been treated equally. They weren't, and that is the double standard that I think a lot of Americans are concerned about. I see my time's expired. I yield back.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
Sir, I want to ask you about some of the differences between the facts.
Oh, shit, it's Adam Schiff.
Before I do, I want to refer back to your opening statement in which you said that you did not disparage the president in your report. But of course, you did disparage the president. You disparaged him in terms you had to know would have a maximal political impact. You understood your report would be public, right?
I understood, based on comments that the Attorney General had made, that he had committed to make as much of my report public as consistent with legal policy and legal requirements.
And you could have chosen just to comment on the president's particular recall vis-a-vis a document or a set of documents, but you decided to go further and make a generalized statement about his memory, didn't you?
Congressman, I could have written my report theoretically in a way that omitted references to the president's memory, but that would have been an incomplete and improper report, and that it did not reflect my analysis.
You could have
the explanation of my decision.
You could have written your report with comments about his specific recollection as to documents or a set of documents, but you chose a general pejorative reference to the president. You understood when you made that decision, didn't you, Mr. Herr, that you would ignite a political firestorm with that language, didn't you?
Congressman, politics played no part whatsoever in my investigative steps.
But you understood nevertheless, didn't you, Mr. Herr? Mr. Herr, you cannot tell me you're so naive as to think your words would not have created a political firestorm. You understood that, didn't you, when you wrote those words, when you decided to include those words, when you decided to go beyond specific references to documents? You understood how they would be manipulated by my colleagues here on the GOP side of the aisle and by President Trump. You understood that, did you not?
Congressman, what I understood is the regulations that govern my conduct as special counsel.
And those regulations
required me to write a confidential report for the Attorney General,
which you knew would not be confidential.
My decision, and that is what I did, Congressman. I followed the rules.
You knew it would not be confidential.
I followed them.
You knew it would not be confidential, didn't you?
Sir, the regulations required me to write a confidential report explaining my decision to the Attorney General.
Which you knew would be released.
It was up to the Attorney General to determine
you understood it would be released, did you not?
Would be released consistent with DOJ policy.
You understood it would be released. You understood it would be released.
I understood from the Attorney General's public comments that he would make as much of my report public as he could, consistent with legal requirements in DOJ policy.
And you also understand DOJ policy that you are to take care not to prejudice the interests of the subject of an investigation, right?
That is generally one of the interests that DOJ policy requires that prosecutors respect.
And it was your obligation to follow that policy in this report, was it not?
It was also my obligation to write a confidential report for the Attorney General explaining completely my decision.
What you did write was deeply prejudicial to the interests of the president. You say it wasn't political, and yet you must have understood you must have understood the impact of your words. You must have understood the impact of your decision to go beyond the specifics of a particular document, to go to the very general, to your own personal, prejudicial, subjective opinion of the president, one you knew would be amplified by his political opponent, one you knew that would influence a political campaign. You had to understand that. And you did it anyway. And you did it anyway. And let me just go to some of the differences here between the president's conduct and Mr. Trump's. In the superseding indictment, on page 3, it says that Mr. Trump suggested that his attorney falsely represent to the FBI and grand jury that he did not have documents called for by the grand jury subpoena. You didn't find anything like that with respect to Mr. Biden, did you?
Congressman, I do not have the Trump indictment in front of me, but I need to address something that you said in your prior question. What you are suggesting is that I needed to provide a different version of my report that would be fit for public release. That is nowhere in the rules. I was to prepare a confidential report that was comprehensive and thorough of an
What is in the rules, Mr. Hur, what is in the rules is you don't gratuitously do things to prejudice the subject of an investigation when you're declining to prosecute. You don't gratuitously add language that you know will be useful in a political campaign. You were not born yesterday. You understood exactly what you were doing. It was a choice. You certainly didn't have to include that language. You could have said vis-a-vis the documents that were found at the university, the president did not recall. There is nothing more common. You know this, I know this. There is nothing more common with a witness of any age when asked about events that are years old to say, I do not recall. Indeed, they're instructed by their attorney to do that if they have any question about it. You understood that. You made a choice. That was a political choice. It was the wrong choice. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Arizona. Did special counsel wish to respond to that final question?
Yes, Congressman, what you are suggesting is that I shape, sanitize, omit portions of my reasoning and explanation to the Attorney General for political reasons.
No, I suggest that you not shape your report for political reasons, which is what you did.
That did not happen, Congressman. That did not happen.
The gentleman from Mr. McClintock, gentleman from California, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Hur. I first want to get this straight. Is it now okay if I take home top secret documents, store them in my garage, and
Biden did.
To friends or associates?
Keep this in mind, dudes. Keep this in mind.
I don't want to entertain any hypotheticals at this point.
Was it okay? I mean, I can do that now under this new doctrine?
Keep this in mind.
I wouldn't recommend that you do that.
Trump was president. He had the rights to have what he had. Biden was not. Supreme Court has done ruled on this.
Hey, I'm getting
That's why it was dropped on Trump. Trump had the rights to every bit of his.
I'm here to talk about the facts and the work that I did.
It was not a hypothetical. This is the issue at hand. You correctly noted in your report that former presidents and other senior officials have been given wide latitude in their possession of classified information, and I believe your decision not to prosecute Biden for the same offense is consistent with that precedent. But the problem is that precedent changed with the administration's decision to prosecute Donald Trump. And the irony is that as president, Trump had full discretion over handling classified material and
he did.
Discretion in deciding which records to retain. As a senator or vice president, Joe Biden didn't have that. So now we get to this glaring double standard. I think it would be toxic to the rule of law on its face if it was just two ordinary citizens. But the fact that the only person being prosecuted for this offense happens to be the president's political opponent makes this an unprecedented assault on our democracy. This is the worst we could expect from a banana republic. And I wonder how you square this.
Congressman, I do address, as I was required to as a prosecutor, a relevant precedent in the form of the allegations in the indictment against former President Trump. I set forth my explanation and my assessment and comparison of those precedents in my report, and I am not here to comment any further beyond what's in my report.
You said, for example, that there was no evidence beyond reasonable doubt. Well, you got the fact that he had classified material in his possession and control in multiple settings for multiple years, that he told others he was aware of this, and that he shared that material with others, the mind boggles at what beyond reasonable doubt would actually mean.
Well, as I set forth at length in my explanations in chapters 11 and 12 of the report, my assessment is that the evidence, if presented at trial alongside potential defense arguments, would not probably result in a conviction at trial.
Well, that's one of the points you make, is that President Biden is likely to be an elderly, sympathetic figure with a poor memory. But how does that bear on any individual's guilt or innocence? Isn't that, again, a question for a judge or jury to decide after guilt or innocence is determined?
It is.
And again, here's the problem. Donald Trump's being prosecuted for exactly the same act that you've documented that Joe Biden committed.
Congressman, if I understood your question correctly, you said, isn't that a question for a jury? And it most certainly, through the lens of
my question is, does that bear on the guilt or innocence of an individual?
It certainly bears on how a jury is going to receive and perceive and make decisions.
So the answer to my earlier question is correct. All I have to do when I'm caught taking home classified materials to say, I'm sorry, Mr. Herbert, but I'm getting old. My memory's not so great.
Yeah, Congressman,
this is the doctrine that you've established in our laws now, and it's frightening.
Congressman, my intent is certainly not to establish any sort of doctrine. I had a particular task. I have a particular set of evidence to consider and make a judgment with respect to one particular set of evidence, and that is what I did.
Well, Mr. Herr, here's the fine point of the matter. The foundation of our justice system is equal justice under law. That's what gives the law its respect and its legitimacy. And without it, the law is simply force, devoid of any moral authority.
All right, boys, that's it for me.